The universe was waving red flags, but she thought it was a carnival. So back in 2020, 2021, peak COVID, my bestie and I, both female, 21 at the time, were some pretty lonely bitches and decided to take a look at Tinder to see what all the fuss was about. I heard peak COVID Tinder was pretty unhinged. To set the scene, we were two fairly shy girls with absolutely no boy experience, and we were not ones to sleep around. No shame, just wasn't our cup of tea. My bestie, we'll call her Jasmine, was a lot more shy than me. Not gonna lie, I coddled her a little bit. You've got some supportive friend energy, maybe a little too supportive. But she and I were talking to some guys, and she really liked hers. He asked her out, she said yes, then panicked immediately because she didn't want to go alone. It was going to be her first official date, and she wanted me there. Well, I had my guy in mind and told her I wouldn't be opposed to doing a double date with her in hopes it would break the ice easier with a double date. This is how bad decisions start with good intentions. F up one. I was an idiot and a little desperate for some sort of dating experience. So I matched with a guy on Tinder with only one photo of him posted in his military uniform. The rule: one photo is a no no. We talked for a while, and it was a pretty nice guy, so I thought I'd ask him to join for the double date. And he agreed. Well, the day before the date comes, and he messages me distraught, saying that he wrecked his car. He's devastated, and he was so sad that he wouldn't be able to go on the date. F up number two. I told him, hey man, no worries. If you want, I can pick you up. Um, no. Hard pass. This man I had only known for a week, only seen one photo of, and then I met on Tinder. But I was just a stupid kid and was embarrassed that I couldn't find another date and didn't want to let Jasmine down. Well, my guy agrees, and I'm so happy. He sent me his address and was ecstatic. This is what happens when embarrassment outweighs survival instinct. F up number three. The next morning, I get up, head to Jasmine's house to pick her up because she wanted to carpool to the date, which I didn't mind so she could come with me to pick up the guy. I'm messaging him all morning and he's not responding. And I'm thinking, well, he's a guy, so maybe he's asleep. This is where the universe is actively trying to intervene and you're just choosing not to listen. Tell me why I drove all the way to his house, because remember, he gave me his address last night. Surely he wants to go, right? We're driving for 30 minutes straight out into the country. Jasmine and I have no idea where we are and what the hell we're doing, but we'll just go with it. Girl, why are we still driving? Finally, I pull up to the house and this shady ass MF is sitting outside his house smoking a cigarette. This feels like the opening of a thriller. I was not about to pull all the way up the driveway. First smart thing I do. So I get out of my car and yell from my door, hey, is Chad here? He looks annoyed as hell, takes his sweet time, and eventually goes in and calls Chad to come out, then immediately re exits to watch. He's just as surprised as you are by your presence. And remember how Chad only had one photo of himself online? Yeah, that photo was a reach and taken years earlier. He looked nothing like his photo, and honestly, he smelled awful. Aspirational? I was so embarrassed and just wanted to get out of there ASAP. Chad looked at me in shock and uncomfortable, like I was the weirdo, and said, hey, you came? Sir, you sent me the address. I was still confused and in shock, but responded, yeah, you gave me your address and told me to come get you last night. He proceeded with, yeah, but I figured you wouldn't come because I didn't respond, which I stared blankly in awkward silence. Finally, he says he can't go, and I was relieved. I immediately reassured him that it was completely okay and practically floored it out of there. Jasmine and I are laughing, baffled at the whole experience. Best possible ending. And I made a mental note to never be this stupid again. Part two, the double date. Turns out red still wasn't red enough. So let's recall the fact that this was still supposed to be a double date. Jasmine still had her date coming. She was still scared to go alone and wanted me to join. I tried to protest, telling her I would be a third wheel, but she insisted. So I caved. The universe tried to stop this repeatedly. F up number four. We go to the restaurant and I have to awkwardly explain to this guy, Mark, that my date was no longer coming. I introduced myself and we got to the table. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Jasmine was just shy or what, but she didn't speak to him at all. And I mean at all. Jasmine has left the building. I had to keep asking him questions to find something out about him that we could talk about, even trying to include Jasmine, saying things like, right, Jasmine? What about you, Jasmine? Oh, Jasmine loves that. Don't you, Jasmine? This had quietly turned into audience participation, trying to desperately get her an entry with this guy. The date was awkward as hell, and it felt more like a blind date for me than anything. I mostly talked to this guy, got to know him in the most awkward lunch of my life, and it was extremely thankful when it was over. Thanks for reading my series of unfortunate events. At some point, this stopped being a double date and became a community service. This one is soap resistant. It's going to hang around for a while, but you will recover if you start making better choices.